Could see Honey with her arm under the car. I thought something's got to be wrong.
Last week we enjoyed the beautiful tracks of the Styx River area. But this week...
Oh, I just run out of track.
That should be fun.
I've never had this Chev in tighter spots than I have in this location.
How could you not explore it? My goodness, it was steep.
The new Tracks app's data stops here, so we don't know what's up ahead, and we don't know if we can turn around.
How could you not explore it? I mean, that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Right, car number one making their way into the climb. Lovely.
Yeah, we said that about the last track.
I wasn't worried. Oh,
What?
I was a bit shaky.
You worried?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, he's on an angle, bloody hell. Left turn looks rather tippy.
Send up car number two.
That should be fun. Nice steep climb. Oh, look at him go! Oh, smooth.
Come on up, Christian.
No sweat. I think because I didn't let the wheels drop into the rut in the centre, so I didn't lurch over to the right. Still wouldn't want to do it in the bushwhacker rig.
Number 4 coming. Jeez, I just lost balance.
Oh.
No, no trouble.
It looked like there was another trail up the hill, so naturally we followed it just to see how far we could get.
It's a long, steep, steady climb, guys, so just find the right rev for it. Don't have the engine labouring too hard. Just keep an eye on everything, keep it nice and smooth, and should be all good.
Oh.
Tight space.
Yeah.
Okay, if the Iveco could get through there, I'm sure we can.
A little bit tight there, Johnny, between the two trees. I thought we just went through the tight spot.
No, obviously not.
Thank you, mate.
Squeeze. Squeeze. Skinny thoughts. I'm sure the Chevy is going to be on a diet after squeezing through that.
Well, that was a bit close for comfort. Oh, I just run out of track.
Lo and behold, there was another tree across the track.
Luckily enough, I've got the chainsaw on the back of the Chev.
Dad's going somewhere with the chainsaw.
Johnny to the rescue. He made short work of it.
I think one of the responsibilities that we have with the opportunity to explore these areas is to keep them safe and do our best to look after them for people that come along behind us. So it's really good to see the guys carefully and safely make the track more passable.
And then a great challenge to try and see if we could make our way through it and forge some new territory for the app.
Talk about threading a brick through the eye of the needle. Well, we're climbing. That was tight. You've really got to think a little bit differently when you're driving a larger vehicle. Same as when you're towing. You've got to plan ahead, look at your lines, and you just don't fit between the trees and through the gaps that the other cars fit through. But you've got other advantages Obviously we can carry a lot more gear, and we've got a very tough, very capable truck. We're going section by section because it's so overgrown, it's very hard to see where the actual track is. So we're just pushing ahead of the convoy, but I reckon we are on the right track.
Can the rest of the convoy make it? This is a real old school all-terrain type challenge, guys. We found an old fire trail. This has not been used for a long time, but it's pushing through, reclaiming these trails, keeping them open, and it's just a nice level of challenge. Love it.
Seemed a bit like Jurassic Park, that you might have a dinosaur come and drag you out the driver's window at any second.
That one's a tight squeeze.
There's a little tight corner, and even getting a dual cab ute through can be a carefully measured process that we have to look at, because we've got big booties in these things and they hang out the back a fair way. So it's nice to be able to get them through safely as well as the big boys. Quite a nice climb coming up out of there.
Now this looks like a track that hasn't been driven in a while. Was it even a track? You need 3 eyes. You need one for the front, one for each mirror, so you can try not to damage the car. And then you've got all the undulations. The tracks are all closed in. You can tell they hadn't been driven on for a long time.
Get a giraffe neck so I can see over the bonnet and what I'm going to run over. Take that back, there is a track here. It doesn't look like it. That was fun though. Bit of fun, nice and tight around those corners. How the hell would you do that in a Chevrolet?
We're ready to start this descent into this new valley that we've got no data for.
So in that tight section down the bottom, I had to come into it, then reverse the back end up into the bush on the right-hand side to realign.
Coming through, I'm following everybody else, and I'll tell you what, I've never had this Chev in tighter spots than I have in this location.
Righty, awesome, well done.
Sometimes buried in all the brush, you'd have a stump or you'd have a log slightly poking out, so you had to keep your wits about you when you were driving through this tight brush.
I can't see anything up the face of this bonnet, it's just too high. Crazy, enjoyable, everybody's having a hoot.
Awesome drive.
Now that Johnny's up the top, let's keep the convoy rolling. Being stuck on tight tracks is starting to get claustrophobic. But I believe it's about to open up.
Here we go into the river crossing.
Wow, I wouldn't mind staying here all day, but we need to keep pushing on. This is a nice, easy river crossing, but always be cautious and make sure you're in 4 low to take it nice and easy.
Did Simon say 4 high or 4 low? This could be the thing that breaks me.
It's nice to be able to get paid to do my hobby. Things like this is something I'd normally have to take time off work to do, but here we are doing it, building some great relationships, meeting some amazing people.
And as soon as you push your way through, it just opens up into this magical land.
What a beautiful part of the world this is. But I reckon we've got a bit of a challenge coming up ahead of us.
This continuation of Boundary Trail, marked as difficult on the New Tracks app, should pose significant challenges. With steep sections and multiple significant obstacles along the trail,
This looks fantastic. So different to what we've been doing all day. This is rocky, steep, rutted, a little bit off camber. You are going to love it. First gear, low range, feathering the brake. I've got the rear diff lock on. Plenty of traction. You guys are going to be fine with this.
I'm heading on down. First gear, diff lock, low range, all that jazz.
My goodness, it was steep, and my goodness, there was a lot of washouts. Had me a bit nervous, the thought of going down this. I was probably gripping the steering wheel a bit tighter than normal, to be honest.
Good fun. Feels quite technical. I like it.
With the Chef being 5.5 tonne, there's a lot of weight down this hill, and it's really taking some extra skills making sure we don't lose any footing going down. So getting our nose in position, it's a bit uncomfortable with the afternoon glare coming off of the dusty bonnet. Gravity is really grabbing hold of it, and I can feel losing some traction every now and again. Slowly but surely, there we go. And just making sure you're putting the nose exactly where you want it to go.
See if we can get a rear tyre off the ground going down this hill. So pulled up to the top of this hill, couldn't really see the bottom, it's very steep. All I could really hear was just tyres scraping, brakes creaking, suspension working. Nice Sunday drive.
So why Simon's left the hardest track for the last section of the day. It's getting to 6 o'clock, it's going to start getting dark soon.
All right, all of this is straightforward and easy. The rocks, the ruts, the off camber, there's nothing in here to worry me except for that big diagonal rut that is going to be nasty. So I'm going to try and go out wide.
Starting at the top, there's a major amount of washout gullies, and you're going to have to pick your line perfectly or you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Oh, that left's going to come down now. Oh, hang on to it. Oh, I cannot believe that. No way.
So after a few minutes of all the noise, Simon had made it down to the bottom safely, so it was time for the next one.
Hey, that is crazy.
Another great test for the tyres to see at what point will they actually slip. It was a bit nerve-wracking actually because it was very steep and very rocky.
Crawling down the track, the Navara lifting back wheels, really lurching backwards and forwards.
But car did it no sweat. I think I was the only one that was sweating.
Was a bit nervous coming down. There were some big ruts going down that hill, so it's going to be a hell of an adventure. The Navara doesn't have a lot of work done to it. It's not a built-up four-wheel drive, but let's have a go. The brakes were squeaking, starting to get a little bit of brake fade coming down the hill. Even in low range, we still needed that tap on the brake just to keep it nice and controlled as we drop down into it. The final little washout of the hill, I felt the back end lift just a little bit. There might be a little bit of air under one of those rear tyres.
Luckily, Simon's on hand to guide us into these washouts and carrying us safely down to the bottom. Suspension is doing exactly what it needs to do.
how are you feeling?
Love it. This is what is good.
Not nervous at all?
No, I trust my dad a lot. I know he'll get us out safely.
As I'm passing, all you can hear is Honey screaming.
Simon! Simon!
Could see Honey with her arm under the car. I thought something's got to be wrong. I went went down and had a look, and the fuel filter had come off, and there was a hole in the back of it, and it was just diesel leaking everywhere.
So what's come out of that?
So there's a plastic end piece in there.
Do we know where that is?
Pierced. It's back in there.
Ah.
Let me just check my toolbox. I might have.
We need like a plug.
So it's a frantic run around to try and come up with an idea how to plug this diesel filter and save the rest of this trip.
Maybe, maybe not. Let me try one thing. So we need to make a makeshift bung. Try and seal that hole.
Nope.
It fits in, but it's not staying in. The sun's setting. We're at the bottom of the worst track we've done all day, and we've got diesel leaking out front of the truck everywhere. Guys, I don't know what we're going to do.
There's got to be superfluous them 10 bolts around. It's only holding the tow bar on. We could try screwing it in. I've got thread tape as well, if that's easier.
Thread tape?
Yeah.
You legends.
Christian has suggested an M10, a 10mm bolt, and a 10mm bolt has fitted perfectly, and we've even been able to grab some thread. So if we can use some plumber's thread tape on that and maybe some epoxy resin as well.
Massive shout out to Christian from Yokohama. He sacrificed one of the bolts off his rear tow bar to help plug that gap.
1, 2, 3.
Are we going to need a spanner or a socket or something?
You can put it in with the extension.
Yep, it's going in. It's still leaking a little bit because the diesel's going to eat through the epoxy. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to eat through the epoxy. I've got silicone
In the rear toolbox on the right hand side of the tray.
All right.
Do you just want to talk us through what you're doing right now, if you can, Sam?
I'm squeezing the out of a tight sphincter.
I'm squeezing the silicone out.
Do you want more silicone?
Oh yes please, yeah.
Yeah, more please.
Johnny, if only we had somebody who had a torch.
You need a torch. Like everything else, we're trying to shine a little light on anything that we do, and new torch is exactly one of those. High-powered LED light.
Pencil beam and wide beam, great vision at night. Always handy to have a good quality flashlight in your kit. Who knows, you might have to change and fix a diesel filter in your next adventure.
So 20 years later, and we are still trying to fix Simon's diesel tank. We've been here for a little bit, but I think they're getting there, and we'll be on the road again soon.
So eventually this MacGyver move is pulled together. The last drip has just come through the epoxy and the silicone, cable tied it back together, and it looks like we've done it. We've saved this trip. Everything looks okay.
All right, that's looking good.
And it was really great to see the whole team pull together and get the fix happening.
And the tension will be, is it going to stay like that for the trip because Simon doesn't have a spare filter?
So we finally all made it down the hill.
And we are now in darkness, heading back to camp.
I've got some dinner that's calling my name. I'm starving and can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. It's really exciting. Coming from southeast Queensland, we've got the Condamine River crossings, which is 14. So I'm looking forward to getting almost double that and getting these river crossings done. It's going to be exciting, a great day. No snorkel, so we'll be taking a very carefully measured approach to every single crossing.
After a massive day, we're finally back at camp and set to relax for the evening. But a last-minute crackle over the radio had us all concerned.
We haven't been to the end of it yet, Simon. You turn around. Have you turned around? Stop it, dummy. Did you hear the dummy? Byron? Have you turned already? Stop it, Byron? Okay, good.